Of course, every person has differing criteria for affixing the franchise label on specific players. With all due respect to the likes of Jason Woolley or Brian Campbell, however, the most likely common answer you would get is Sabres head coach Phil Housley, a 2015 Hall of Fame inductee who holds the franchise record for career points by a defenseman. The problem with that is it's been nearly 30 years since Housley patrolled Buffalo's blue line. Although the Sabres have iced a handful of contending teams since, they have always lacked that go-to defender who can simultaneously excite the fans and fill the score sheet at the same time. That likely will change June 22, when the league converges on Dallas for the draft. Golden Standard: How Vegas became the most successful expansion team in sports history. Buffalo, which owns the first overall pick, will have the first crack at Rasmus Dahlin, a dynamic puck mover with highlight reel moves. The Swedish wunderkind is the overwhelming favorite to become just the 14th defenseman to be taken first in the NHL Draft, but you have to go all the back to 1973 and Hall of Famer Dennis Potvin to find a defense prospect who had such a tremendous following before ever skating in an NHL game. Dahlin's blend of skill and smarts should make his transition to the NHL's up-tempo style as seamless as it was for Housley, a finesse defenseman himself who made his Sabres debut immediately after he went 6th overall in the 1982 draft. Housley was only a few months removed from his 19th birthday when he was named runner-up for the Calder Trophy. 1 year later, he received a significant amount of Norris Trophy votes, finishing for the NHL's best defenseman. Whether it's stylistic or situational, parallels most certainly can be drawn between Housley and Dahlin. Although Sabres fans are understandably giddy at the prospect of seeing yet another young star added to their growing arsenal of explosive talent, expectations probably should be tempered. Questions already are abounding in regard to how Housley and Sabres general manager Jason Botterill intend to use Dahlin if he is, in fact, their first pick at the draft. We probably won't find out until the days leading up to opening night of the 2018-19 season, but here are several areas where Dahlin should help the Sabres improve from their disastrous season a year ago. Mock Draft 2.0, Sabres hit jackpot, lottery prizes aplenty after Rasmus Dahlin won. The power play. It would be folly for Housley to not name Dahlin as his opening night power play quarterback for a variety of reasons. For one, the best power play sniper in the Swedish Hockey League is Victor Olofsson, a Sabres prospect who was Dahlin's teammate with Frölunda in each of the last 2 seasons. While Dahlin did not produce during the man advantage, only 3 power play points and 10 shots in 41 games, his breakouts and ability to distribute the puck properly were critical to Frölunda finishing second in the circuit with a 25.7 success rate. Olofsson recently signed a 2-year contract with Buffalo and will compete for a spot on next year's squad. The Sabres also signed free agent Lawrence Pilut, who was named the best defenseman in the SHL. These 2 roster moves, plus the expected arrival of Dahlin, should give Buffalo 2 legitimate power play units. More, why Andrei Svechnikov's star potential is on par with Rasmus Dahlin. Second, the Sabres went from first to almost worst on the power play, placing 20th in efficiency a year after boasting the league's top unit with the man advantage. As putrid as they were for most of the season, the Sabres actually spent more time on the power play this year than last, finishing 10th in opportunities. The knee-jerk reaction to the dip in efficiency would be to point the finger at Housley himself, a former power play specialist who before joining Buffalo as head coach was diagramming Nashville's 5-on-4 unit while serving as an assistant to Peter Laviolette. However, shot distribution on the struggling power play under Housley reveals that he leaned on team captain and leading scorer Jack Eichel about as much as former coach Dan Bylsma did the year before. The primary point man for each coach was defenseman Rasmus Dahlin, who like Eichel fired roughly the same amount of shots when the power play was cooking under Bielema in 2017, 1.43 pp shot attempts per game, than he did when it struggled under Housley, 1.42 pp shot attempts per game. Even after factoring in the increase in team power play opportunities from 233 to 257, Eichel wired close to the same amount of PP shots per 60 minutes as he did a year ago. The biggest difference, however, is in Eichel's shot inaccuracy, which increased from 8.57 missed shots per 60 minutes to 9.88 more. Inside the missteps of a Sabres tank gone horribly wrong, we can speculate that puck luck and Eichel trying to be too fine with his attempts on a struggling power play had more to do with the misfires than any tactic employed by Housley. The eye test revealed a group that knew how to move the puck around and create quality chances that were neutralized far too often. Is Eichel better at acting as a shooter than a playmaker? Therein lies the rub, as it appears Eichel tried to super fine-tune his shots in 2018 to make up for his teammates consistently failing to cash in on his world-class setups a season ago. The addition of Dahlin's vision and shot accuracy, plus a full season of prized forward Casey Mittelstadt, should not only help increase the power play's lethality, but also keep Eichel from forcing shots that have a high probability of missing the net. It should be noted that the Sabres went 10 for 29, 35% on the power play with both Mittelstadt and Eichel in the lineup. Granted, it's a small sample size and these still are kids we're talking about, but Buffalo's collective skill during the man advantage should not be taken lightly, especially with Dahlin in the fold. 2018 Draft Rankings, Dahlin, Svechnikov create 1A 1B situation atop Class 2. Sheltered minutes. If Housley wants to maximize Dahlin's puck effectiveness, he should consider giving Dahlin the lion's share of offensive zone starts, OZS. In other words, most of the draws taking place in the opposing zone should have Dahlin on the ice. This tactic is common for a coach with a gifted defenseman because it not only increases the likelihood of a quality scoring chance but also ensures his most skilled puck distributor will have close to a 50-50 chance of immediately controlling the puck in enemy territory after a face-off. This is a nice way to describe sheltering, which also saves the coach's more defensively responsible rearguards for defensive zone draws. The last thing you want to do is tire out your finesse players in a muck and grit battle 150 feet away from the opposing goal. By employing a defenseman like Dahlin during the majority of offensive zone draws, Housley can keep his foot on the proverbial throat of opponents more than he did a year ago, especially with a face-off wizard like Ryan O'Reilly taking the draw. Of course, the better Dahlin plays in his own end, the more defensive zone starts, DZS, he'll see. But as you can see in the table below that ranks the top 10 scorers among rookie defensemen, most NHL coaches like to shelter their inexperienced puck moves for more than their veterans. NHL rookie scoring, 2017-18, defenseman, player team age points OZS percent, all, Will Butcher Devils, 23-44 62.4 Mikhail Sergachev Lightning 1940 70.2 Charlie McAvoy Bruins 2032 53.7 Ryan Pulock Islanders 2332 48.5 Thomas Chabot Senators 2125 60.0 Vince Dunn Blues 2124 60.8 Samuel Girard Avalanche 1923 54.1 Matt Grzelcyk Bruins 24 15 54.2 Neil Pionk Rangers 22-14 39.3 Christian Jews Capitals 23-14 59.8 Keep in mind that the only two rookie defensemen among leading scorers who did not see the majority of their starts in the offensive zone were the Islanders' Ryan Pulock and the Rangers' Neil Pionk, who each played for two of the worst defensive teams in the league. One rational explanation for consistently deploying rookie puck-moving defensemen in the more hostile defensive zone is that their respective coaches didn't trust many others. From the looks of it, Dahlin won't have to worry about being sheltered too much, as Housley was pretty fair divvying up zone starts equally among his defenders, regardless of age or experience. Not a single Sabres defenseman who appeared in at least 40 games cracked the 60% mark in offensive zone starts, and the team leader among those who appeared in at least 40 games was Russia-bound Victor Antipin, 54.9%. Will Housley opt for a different approach knowing Dahlin's capabilities? Based on how other teams utilize their rookie defensemen, he probably should. More, Rasmus Dahlin changes conversation on D-men drafted no. 1-3. Even strength production. Dahlin is a threat with or without the puck in all three zones, regardless of what the scoreboard reads or where puck battles are being fought. With the puck, he's an instant breakout thanks to his skating, stick handling and poise, but he also keeps opponents honest with his long-range vision and crisp pass accuracy. Without it, he's a rover with world-class anticipation skills and a sixth sense to sniff out an opponent's intentions. Dahlin has exploited these facets of his game at every level against both teenage and adult competition, so there's no reason to believe he'll hit a wall once he crosses the pond to play for the Sabres, or any team for that matter. Where Dahlin should have his biggest impact is at even strength, where the Sabres have been putrid in each of the last 5 years. Buffalo Sabres at even strength 2013 to 2018 season. SGFS GA NHL rank 2013 14 109 18778 30th 2014 15 116 197 8 129th 2015 16 145 171 36 28th 2016 17 139 174 35 28th 2017 18 140 216 76 31st. Watching the Sabres the last several seasons probably has left their fans with no shortage of things to complain about. But the inability of Buffalo's forwards to back-check and support their defensemen with consistency is a critical explanation as to why the Sabres always seem to be surrendering odd-man rushes against. Keeping the ice either level or tilted in your favor requires just as much effort as it does skill. Dahlin's catch-up speed is outstanding, especially once he's realized he's caught deep inside the other zone. Atoning for mistakes is another reason why Dahlin is such a special talent. Rarely is he fooled twice, and if he is, his speed allows him to cover ground faster than most forwards. From a production standpoint, Dahlin was more effective at even strength, where he collected 17 of his 20 points, including all 7 goals. Additionally, he finished tied for 16th among SHL defensemen with 84 shots, of which 74 were away from the power play. More, best no. 1 and 2 overall draft duos in NHL draft history. 4. Time on ice. It's safe to say that Dahlin will continue the trend of first overall picks making the jump to the NHL in the season immediately following the draft. In fact, only 2 of the last 21 players who were the top pick in the draft did not play the following season in the NHL. Defenseman Erik Johnson, 2006, opted to play in the NCAA, and Alex Ovechkin, 2004, had his NHL debut delayed by the 2004-05 strike. Aaron Ekblad in 2014 was the last defenseman to be selected at the top of his draft class, and his average time on ice of 21:49 as a rookie for the Panthers is the highest among any top pick since the NHL began officially tracking the stat in 1998. Dahlin averaged 19:02 of ice time per game last season, which placed him 31st out of over 160 defensemen. He had a handful of matches where he played close to 24 minutes, and he was utilized more during Frölunda's opening round loss to Malmö in the SHL playoffs. Neither endurance nor shift recovery time should be an issue once he plays in the SHL. What that means for the Sabres is Dahlin already is physically mature enough to handle a heavy workload and give Housley more flexibility when trying to match lines and pairings. Steve Kornianos is the founder of TheDraftAnalyst.com, a blog dedicated to the NHL Draft. He is a former prospects writer for ESPN.com and worked briefly for the Associated Press and McKeen's Hockey. He also covered the Boston Bruins, the All and Hockey East for Sports Ticker, and was a minor league baseball editor for House Sports Data.